Hello out there in social land. Victoria, Coach B with Elevation Moments. It has been a moment, but we are back in the driver's seat. We're doing some things. We had to take a little furlough, if you will, from the daytime moment. We do have a public interview, so it sometimes keep us in line here. We want to do things and share and like it. We is in the we and we're super excited to spend the time with you that we get is fresh Friday. I'm doing tolerate it. Even showing some love to everyone because it's educated to be elevated. Things happen. As you may see, that it looks like we got a lot of interference throughout the telecast right now, but that's okay. Hey, y'all know how we do. We just keep on moving until we get it together. So today, I am super excited. Like I said, we wanted to come back. We want to have a lot of people that have been reaching out to us and saying, hey, when you're coming back, we miss the motivation. We miss knowing what's going on in the world. We miss having an opportunity to talk about different things that will build up our personal development, enhance our personal development, and help us move to our next level, right? Because how many of you understand, how many of you out there with me know that sometimes the hardest thing is being able to adjust to our own selves and being able to be who we are to the best, to the limit, right? And so building that personal development, building who you are, understanding your true self-worth, understanding your true value, understanding your competence, and building upon all of those things is what's going to push us to our next level. And a lot of times we have to have someone like myself to be able to help you understand what those processes look like. And sometimes that means just having an opportunity to vent, open up yourself, and talk about some things that's going to help you to be empowered and embraced. And so today we want to go back to, it's like I said, it's Fresh Cut Friday. We have missed so many of you from being able to talk to you on a regular basis and what we're talking about and what we're doing. We have a lot of things that's coming up right now with Elevated Not Tolerated. We're moving back into the classroom, because everybody says, we're in the last quarter, we can't do certain things. We're not able to process certain things, right? Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a season. The question is, are you ready to maneuver around it and understand? One of the things that we will continue to talk about is some things that are happening in the business industry and how people are not able to process some things, or maybe even in your corporate management, you need someone to help you that can talk to your people on their level, right? And that's one of the things that we offer with Elevated Not Tolerated Coaching and Motivational Services is the ability to be able to talk to our people and enhance them even in the work environment. So we've got some things coming up here, and while we're waiting for some of our friends and some of our fellow colleagues to tap in, I want to show you some things that's getting ready to happen. We have some amazing classes that are coming up that we want you to take part in, and we want to be able to show you that information. So get ready. We're going to take a quick break. All right, all right. So we do have the various classes coming up. That's going to be that are available. We actually have an intro class, a 30-minute class that we're going to be doing. Hey, Ginger, thanks for joining. We do have an intro class that's going to be going up on this coming Tuesday. We have three slots for that. It's going to be 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 6:30. And we're going to be talking about team building. I know that a lot of us, even in the private sector, we have our own teams, and it's time for us to develop some real connections with that. And so we're going to be our class that we do as a team building, that you get it ready for your company, be able to have even your small business operators. We do offer some packaging for you as small entrepreneurs that you can bring your team to a different level as well. And we're not going to leave you out on that. But today I want to get into our what we're talking about today. And our topic today is overpacking our personal development, overpacking those personal development suitcases. How many of you know we tend to sometimes overpack? Can I be honest with you? Every time I get ready to go on a trip, anytime I'm doing a trip, I always tend to overpack. I tend to put some things out there that I really don't need. But at the time, it seems important when you do have it, right? And so today we want to talk about that a little bit, because it's important that we understand how important overpacking your personal development level and be able to actually push it to a different point. Because when you're overpacking your personal development suitcase, it can delay you in some other areas. And we want to make sure that you, as our individuals, are people that are in the industry, know that how overpacking can affect what you do in society, overpacking what it does for you as an individual. And so as we're talking about these things, when you start packing for a trip, we can easily overpack our personal books and courses and expectations. But when you're really building who you are in the industry, when you're really building what you're trying to do for yourself, it's important that you always understand that there's a couple of things that we want to talk about. There's a couple of things that we want to enlighten you with, right? And one of those things that when we're overpacking, sometimes what we end up doing is we pack so much things. Hey, Coach K, thanks for joining. When we're overpacking some of the things that we do, it causes us a lot of hindrance. And so when we're packing our thoughts and when we're doing some things in order to rebuild our personal development, one of the things that one of the key points is prioritizing that group area. Your personal development area is important, right? Developing who you are and what you are and why you're doing some things has to be the forefront of why you're doing it, right? So that first point we want to talk about today is prioritizing your growth area. Prioritizing your growth area. It's important that we as individuals, that we start thinking about the importance of one-on-one or two key areas in personal development instead of juggling too many things at one time, right? When I say that, people say, well, it looks like you have a whole lot of things on your plate, a lot of things that you do or whatever. That's true. But if you can prioritize, is the key, right? Prioritizing is the master part of it, though. You have to be able to focus primary on two things that you want to see work, right? And so oftentimes when we are as entrepreneurs, instead of, tackling one area, we'll tackle about two off, right? So you don't want to tackle all of your personal growth goals at one time. You want to build on the goals. And we want to encourage you to choose one or two areas that make the most impact in your life. That's the key. Being able to use the things that impact you the most in your personal development, because all of that personal development unpacking rolls over to your businesses, it rolls over to your ministries, it rolls over to your social engagements. You have to be able to look at the area that you really want to focus on. So as a personal development coach, my main focus is looking at what's going to enhance you as you grow into who the real person that you are, right? So you don't want to overpack that. You want to be able to have a good goal planning process in place. We do have some techniques, and we do have some things that we can share with you of how you can develop your key areas that you want to focus on first. If you have 10 items, you only want to perfect, you want to go and tackle the first two most important ones. Usually it's the ones that you pick one that's easy and one that's hard. Why is that? Because you have some growth potential in that area. A lot of times we as individuals, we want to cover the whole world, and that's not going to happen. Rome wasn't built in a day. The world wasn't created in a day. So why do you think your personal development is going to be created in one day as well, right? And sometimes the key to that is understanding where your growth really needs to be. So when you start talking to me about certain things, and some of you have reached out, you want to get back into your coaching, fields, and you want to get back into your, developing who you are. Well, the first thing I'm going to ask you, are you ready to tackle those two things that may seem hard or maybe seem insignificant? Because if that's the case, then we can move to that next level, right? Now, I want to talk about a couple of other things that I know some of you are not going to talk about, because, we as individuals, we don't like to hear the hard knocks. We don't like to take in consideration somebody's telling us what to do, if you will. And that's not the case. You just don't want to be overwhelmed with certain things. But before we get into that, I want to take you on a little journey with me and tell you about some other things that's getting ready to happen. Because guess what? Uncensored Conversation is back in the house. And check out what's happening this Sunday. All right. We want you to join us this coming Sunday night as we are celebrating my birthday. The 27th is my birthday, y'all. And so we've invited some old friends to come back and be with us. And we're going to talk. We're going to laugh. We're going to have a whole lot of fun. We refer to ourselves as the three amigos. And that my good friend, Mrs. Carrie Price, who is Miss, yes, Thirsty Thursday herself. And then we also have my good friend Donnie Got the Beats will be with us on Sunday night too. It's a a little get together of the friends, and we want to share our time with you. And we want to talk about music, and we want to talk about some things that soothe you back that this coming Sunday at 7:00 right here on Uncensored Conversation. So let's get into point number 2. The next point is there's something that I think that a lot of people don't realize does affect us on a regular basis. And that is we need to start letting go of perfectionism, right? A lot of us are perfectionists. I'm one of those people. I want things, what I say, perfection, I want it done the correct way, right? But the thing that you really need to be looking at is an excellence versus perfection, right? Because everything that we work on has an opportunity of growth, right? Every business didn't start off being 100% dollar sale. It took its own little toes. It went through some whole new processes for it to get to where it's at right now, right? And a lot of times we miss out on that because we are so focused on being perfected. We're doing things better than anybody else, and we've got it all going on better than anything else. This is the thing. Perfection can hold you back, right? being so wanting to be perfected in it, being the top notch in it can sometimes hold you back from making a progress. Take it from one that knows. Sometimes being in the field that I've been in over the last couple of years, I've been looking at other people's work and what they do, right? And they have perfected it, right? There's a lot of famous coaches out there. Like, you get into that study of that. If you get into being somebody else's shadow, right? You don't have to be anybody's shadow. You are all right by yourself, right? When you get into being such a perfectionist, it leads you to procrastination. Can I get an amen in the back corner? Being a perfectionist leads you to procrastinating because we're afraid of not getting it just right. There's some things that I have tried over the last couple of years, that I didn't get right. But the thing is, I was striving to get things right versus to get things done correctly, right? You're striving to, you're worrying about the cake that you baked yesterday had too much sugary taste or too much salty taste, or whatever the case may be. It didn't look like what you had pictured it to be. Trying to be a perfectionist will hold you from doing the right thing. We'll stick to this isn't just right kind of attitude, and you start grinding yourself into that you won't even desire to move on. Can I be honest with you? If that's you, then you and I need to have a conversation. Being a perfectionist means that you will stop doing things and you'll focus totally on, is it right or wrong? Look, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if you need the techniques, right, the only way that you're going to know if it's going to work is if it doesn't work out right. How many of us that really want to succeed, some of the biggest things that keeps us back is we want it right, right? I need you to understand how important that when you are not focusing on the perfection of it, but you're focusing on how you did the right things that you knew to do right. Right? If you don't know how to color in a color book or stay in the lines, you continue to practice it. When you're talking about perfection is one of those things that, to get it to an excellent level. Like I said, we don't want to use the phrase perfection because everything has an opportunity to work better, right? And how does that happen? You literally have to keep working at it. If it doesn't work right this time, it doesn't mean that you need to quit it. It just means that you need to try something different. Look at a different aspect. Find something else that works better for you. When I tell you that it's important, hey, Ruben, thanks for joining. When I tell you that we as individuals, we cannot stop from what we're doing just to see what we're doing is wrong. It's time for you to put some things into place and focus on it, right? And even how you're feeling today. You can't focus on your emotions because that would tear you up. That would tear you up on one side or the other. Look at what you can do. Look at what you do know how to do and work with that. Right? Don't worry about if it's wrong or right. Don't worry about what it looks like to somebody else. Worry about if you attempted it, and if you attempted what you knew, did it work out to your good that you could process something else, right? If you baked a cake today and it didn't taste good today, that doesn't mean you throw it in the towel. That means you go out there and you get the ingredients again and you try again, right? Some of the things that we experience in our life. Why don't I have financial growth? Because there's some things that we did wrong that we should have done differently, a different way, but we chose to do it one way instead of trying to continue to enhance your knowledge and your wisdom. A lot of the things that we push to the side or we stopped doing is because it didn't work because we didn't do the homework. I want to see people, because I have a grant writing background and I have business background. A lot of things that I do is through research, but when I'm not researching something, that's when it falls to the ground. That's when I found out that I didn't do my best because I didn't do the complete research on it. And I'm telling you today, it's important for you to do your research, develop a plan that's good for you, right? It gets good for how you operate. It's good for your mindset and what you use into it. Sometimes we just need to go back to the wheel and look at some things. So when you start looking on that, look at what your real wins were. Your real wins are that you didn't stop, right? You didn't give up. You didn't throw in the towel, right? Those are your real wins. It's those wins that you tried something and it did work, right? So this is a season while we continue to do that. We continue to focus on that and not what we couldn't do, right? I want to take a few minutes. I want to take another quick break, and then we're going to come back with our last tip for the day. So y'all just stick with me. I want to go back and show you again some things that we've done in the past.
Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance. Telling me to dance, taking a chance.
Hello, I'm glad you're back with me. And again, for those that are just now tuning in, my name is Victoria Holland. I am the CEO, founder, and facilitator of Victoria Elevates. And elevated, not tolerated, means to rise above anything and everything that has held you down and has caused you to feel inadequate and has done so unpleasantly. But today, my friends, with you and I together, we're going to tackle that Fresh Friday feeling, and we're going to learn how it is time for us to be empowered, embraced, and educated, to be elevated and not tolerated. So let's take a look at that last component of, understanding that we got too much stuff in our luggage, right? And so I chose that topic because a lot of us pack a lot of things, ill feelings, hardships, that I didn't, wish I could have and didn't do it. And now we're pushing towards another level. And so I want to explain to you how important it is when you look at that suitcase that you only pack what you need. You only pack what you need, right? And that's our third point of the day. Only packing what is necessary, right? And so I want us to take another look at, hey, Pastor Harris, so good to have you join me on today. Thank you so much, my friend. Looking forward to meeting you. When I tell you that when we're talking about overpacking our suitcases, we need to look at things on a whole lot of areas and a whole different perspectives, right? So when we're talking about packing only what you need, this is the thing. Have you ever packed your suitcase so tight that you couldn't get anything else in it? Well, let me be honest with you. That's when you know that you got too much in it, right? It's time for you to actually take some things out of the bag and put it in another container, right? A lot of times, even when we're building our personal development, we sometimes get into the place where we're stuck in the mud, right? We're sticking to the same thing, and it's time for us to get outside the box, right? Because when you are, the importance of being selective about what you're taking on your trip, what you're taking in when you're going on vacation. You only take the necessities that you need, right? You don't overpack, right? A lot of us are overpacking our personal development. We're overpacking and we're overthinking some things that we don't need to. Be selective of what you're packing in your suitcases. Be selective who you begin to reach out to, who you begin to share things with, because some resources that you have is not necessary. Some things you don't need. As we're moving into this next level of planning and we're doing some next level of things, even for Victoria Elevates, we are looking at those things that are only necessary. We're looking at the resources that are only necessary. Our clientele need different things from us. Our clientele are waiting for different things. And if we continue to put in packages and stuff that we don't need, then it's not going to work. It's something that we're not going to be able to see on a bigger level. When I was looking at my good friend, my good friend Jamila Edwards out there, she posted a picture of a suitcase. And I began to laugh. I said, but this is exactly what we do. We have a certain way that we should be packaging what we're putting inside of us, right? Now, because it's important that when we're growing, we don't want to clutter our mind with a lot of stuff. How many of you, how many of us, me included, how many times have you taken so many different suggestions from everybody else that it just cluttered your mind and it overwhelmed you? Right? When you get overwhelmed with what you're packaging inside of you, that causes you to lose the focus. We talked about that in the beginning, making sure that you do things that keep you on focus, not overwhelming you. And a lot of times from the pulpit to the corner store, we spend our time being bombarded with things that we really don't need. Collect only what you need. When you're talking about personal development, what part of your personal development are you trying to improve? Are you trying to improve your confidence? Are you trying to improve your self-worth? Only take on in those resources that you are dealing with for that particular moment, for that particular time. Because if you put too many things into your physical suitcase, if you will, your personal suitcase, you're going to find yourself getting overwhelmed with the thoughts, right? One of the things that we talk about when we're doing team building is understanding that everybody has a separate entity. Everybody has a separate skill. But when you bring those skills together, it completes the package, right? So when we're talking on the industry level, we're talking to those people that are developing, that have understanding that different people on their teams do different things. John might be good at writing a book. Sally might be good at taking notes. Bill might be great at counting money. But once you put all of these pieces together, these people form a team because they can throw in each of the ideas that's necessary to move to the next level. See, this is the thing. Get only the books. Okay, first of all, can I throw this in there? Make sure you always have your handy dandy Bible. Because first and foremost, and I'm going to say this, and I know some of you that's out there in the business industry will say, well, can you keep this separated? I don't know how to keep it separated because what I do is what I'm directed to do, right? So a part of what I do in ministry is that I help people understand their goals, right? So with that being said, always have your Bible because that's your first go-to. But when you get your Bible, it's going to direct you to what other health material you need. It's going to direct you to what other resources and key points that you need to focus on. A lot of us are getting a lot of books, and we're going to look. I look at them too. I'm not down, and I'm saying be selective. We go to a lot of things. We go through a lot of processes of looking at YouTube, TikToks, and all of these things to get answers that we need. But you have to develop a plan of how to package what you need in your suitcase. You have to develop a process of how you break it down and develop what you specifically need for your journey. Everything that you read in self-help is not for you. Some of the things that we talk about with building your self-worth is not for everybody. There's some things that you may already be good at. You already may have a positive attitude, but you need to stretch a little bit more in how you process that information. And one of the key things about that is only being selective for what you need. If the only thing that you need help is with creative writing, then that's the material that you should be focusing on, right? When we overpack ourselves with everything, we leave no space for us to grow. And one of the things that I am learning, and one of the things that I try to continue to teach everyone else, is that it's important how you set up develop you a personal development plan. You cannot operate without one. Everything has a plan. Everything has a process. Even the Bible talks about it. The Bible tells us to write the vision, make it plain. The same concept is used for across the board. That's the reason why you can't separate this thing. Because at the end of the day, your personal development is built on writing a selective plan that's going to enhance you to the next level. One of the things that I try to encourage all of my clients with is having a plan of action that you can execute quickly once you develop it. Sometimes we get into the point where we're overwhelmed with certain things and we're not able to process what we need to process. That's when you need to take time to stop, think about it, and move to your next level. It's time for us to stop being overwhelmed by the things that we have no control over and concentrate on the things that we do. This is the other thing. It's important that you only seek out help for those people, the individuals that are going to help you. I'll just be honest with you. I posted something a few weeks ago, and maybe I even backed it up today. Sometimes we got to deal with the walkers and not the talkers. Too many people, there's a lot of walkers out there, but there's not a whole lot of people that's doing a whole lot of walking. There's a whole lot of talkers, but no walkers. You have to show me evidence. This is why we're going to making sure what our resource is that it's evident that you need it, right? Show me the evidence, show me the proof that I need it, and then we can move forward with it. When you are developing a personal development plan, keep in mind the thing that you need most is to have a plan that you can show evidence with. When we teach the SMART module, we teach how it is important that you have specific things that you're going to meet at a specific time, and it's going to be achievable. The same thing is true when you're developing a personal development plan. You have to be able to see that it's something that you can achieve. Can you lose that 100 pounds weight in 30 days? We know that's not possible. So now we have to go back to the drawing board and develop a plan that is conducive to our needs, right? And one of the things about overpacking yourself with all this material is that you get overwhelmed, and it causes you to lose focus on what you're truly looking for, right? It's time for us to stop overpacking our suitcases, guys. It's time for us to really look at our personal development and do it on a different level. I'm here to help you, and I want you to be able to achieve all of the goals that you have designed for yourself. But the only way you can do that is to start unpacking that suitcase that you've already got packed, because it's not working for you. Can I be honest with you? It's not working for you if you haven't seen any evidence of growth. Growth is a lot of things. Growth depends on a lot of things. It shows a lot of things. You have to be able to push it to the next level. It's something about being able to view, about us to be able to, excuse me. Sorry, but when we start looking at a lot of things at one time, and see, that's technology right there for you. It can be overwhelming sometimes because it's out there. When you start looking at technology, make sure you don't get overwhelmed with that, because it's out there. It's there for a reason. Having the aspect of what you're looking for is necessary, but don't let it overwhelm you. Don't let it cause you to feel some kind of way about it. You have to be able to understand how important that what you have selected is for you at this season. Sometimes we are pushing too many things that we can't accomplish. It's time for us to sit down and have a conversation. It's time for us to sit down and develop you a personal development plan. Yes, we're in the last quarter, but that doesn't mean that you ain't got time to win. I don't know about you, when I say this to anybody out there, you still have time. You still have time. It's still a process, but you still have time to accomplish what you need to accomplish in this season. Examine what you have in your suitcases. Examine what's in your mindset. Examine what's in your heart. Examine what's on your goal sheet. Can I be honest with you? A lot of us need to just take a reevaluation and determine what needs to be in our suitcases personally, as well as in our suitcases that we're carrying on that trip. To those of you that are traveling, maybe you need to go back and relook at your suitcase and make sure that you only have what you need. As a motivational speaker, I'm always going to make sure the first thing I got is my material. I want to make sure that I have 25 copies for that self-worth conference, right? I did a conference a couple of months back, and I wanted to make sure I had everything mapped out. But the only thing I didn't map out was I was going to fall. But anywho, but the same thing, you have to make sure that you are prepared for the unbelievable and the unexpected, right? So it's important. I'm ready to help you get ready to develop some things that you need to do for the rest of this quarter. It's time for us to brush off all of the dust and let's get moving. It's time for us to move to that next level. Guys, I'm so excited to be back with Elevation Moments. I'm excited about coming back and giving you some ideas. I'm definitely excited about making sure that you have the opportunity to ask some questions. As a personal development coach, I got a lot of information out there that's out there. I feel like I'm starting all over again. I'm starting all over again, but I'm starting with a different perspective. And that is, I want to make sure that you have reevaluated who you are and you're ready to move to the next level. When we come back this week, coming up, like I said, we do have the team building course that's going to, the launch of that is going to start, but we're also going to come back and we're going to talk to you a little bit about it on Tuesday. We're going to talk about, some of the key points of having an effective team. We will be doing that. This is a free workshop, a free Zoom that we're going to be doing on Tuesday. It's 3 times that you can see it. You can see it at 11, 2, and 6:30. We're going to come back as a private Zoom link that you'll have to go out there and you need to get and register for this event. It is going to be amazing. Can I tell you? I'm going to say it again. It's going to be an amazing opportunity for you to be able to see some things that you can do, right? And I want you to be able to experience it with us. And so look for more information out there. I'm only taking a few people under my wing to be able to talk to on those days. I want you to sign up for it. It's going to be great. Some of you that are business owners and you have 2 or more people in, as a team, this will be a great opportunity for you all to see what happens when a team really works together effectively. So we will be coming back. We'll be going to give you some more information about that throughout the rest of the weekend. We got a lot. Guys, it's my birthday coming up on the 27th. And so I'm trying to get everything back out there because my birthday gift to me is to go back into the industry that I love so well and do what I do best. And that's making you to understand how it's time for you to be empowered, embraced, and educated, to be elevated and not tolerated. Look for us later tonight on a super special pop-up visit. Not going to tell you when because it's a pop-up. We will look forward to seeing you again right here on Elevation Moments. We will give you more information on a regular basis of when that's going to happen. But until then, just know that we are here to help you rise to that next level. We'll see you next time. Have a great day.